Among those casting absentee ballots from overseas this year is Anna Bilakur, one of an estimated 6,000 Americans living in Ukraine. She is a social media manager with the Kyiv Independent, an English-language online publication, and she says her personal connection to Ukraine is a deep one.
I've been living in Ukraine for just over a year now. I was here a bit on and off before the war started, and my dad is Ukrainian, so I had kind of roots on that side of my family. I felt that if I wanted to be a journalist covering this war, I had to be here.
Bilakur says it is heartbreaking to see Ukraine used as a talking point in U.S. political campaigns because she believes the struggle of Ukraine is being left out. Polls this year by Gallup and the University of Maryland suggest a slightly majority of Americans surveyed think the U.S. should keep helping Ukraine despite the politics.
When I talk to people at home on both ends of the political spectrum, I do hear a lot more empathy for Ukraine, a lot more concern than what is presented on certain news networks.
Bilakur plans to vote absentee online. She says no matter the outcome, her resolve will not change.
I hear Kyiv and NATO and various other places saying that whoever's elected is who we will have to deal with. So I try to take that attitude of, whatever the outcome, we're going to keep fighting.
Stephen Moore shares that view. He is a Republican and former chief of staff on Capitol Hill who now lives in Ukraine and works as a volunteer. Moore founded the US-based NGO Ukraine Freedom Project, which provides humanitarian aid to civilians and non-lethal equipment to military volunteers. He says Ukraine needs the support of both Democrats and Republicans.
There is not a world where Ukraine gets what it wants from the United States through the support of only one party. This does not happen. So Ukraine needs to be bipartisan. There's about a 70% chance that the White House and Congress will be divided.
Moore believes America has never been so divided in his lifetime, a belief backed by polls in the run-up to the election.
The Russians are getting what they want in this election cycle, which is chaos and disorder in the United States.
Moore cast his ballot in his last trip to the U.S.
Right now, we are in a global war. And the only people acting on that information are our adversaries and the Ukrainians. So this election will dictate how America responds to a global war.
Other experts like John Sennett and his wife decided not to vote this time. Sennett works in airline logistics and volunteering in Ukraine as well. He says for him neutrality is key.
For us here, it's just a waiting game. Don't be too vocal about who you like or who you don't like, because whoever wins is who we're going to have to work with.
Sennett says his Ukrainian friends often ask him to predict the election outcome. He simply responds, "It's America, and nobody will have answers until it's election day." Lesia Bakalets, VOE News, Kyiv.